Well, for more on Edouard Philippe's resignation, I'm joined on set now by France 24's international affairs editor, Armen Georgian. Armen, what exactly do we know at this point about Philippe's resignation?
Well, the communiqué from the French presidency says quite factually that the Prime Minister has tendered his resignation, that the President has accepted it, that the entire government has resigned as well. That was triggered by Édouard Philippe's resignation, and Édouard Philippe, will continue to manage day-to-day affairs of the French state until a new government is appointed. So we don't know exactly when that will happen. Just to pick up on something that Monty Francis was saying in our report just there, the opinion polls, that sort of clues us into certain things, because you saw in that report that Édouard Philippe has actually recently become more popular than Macron himself, according to some polls, and French presidents don't like to be outshone by their prime ministers. It's a famously tense or complicated, I should say, relationship historically. One remembers, for example, the famous phrase of Nicolas Sarkozy, the former president, who talked about his prime minister, François Fillon, being an employee. And he famously said, "I'm the boss, my prime minister is my employee." So that kind of gives you a slight insight, I think, into how these things can work at the highest levels of the French state. And it's true that Édouard Philippe had a very high-profile role, particularly most recently in the coronavirus pandemic. Was this decision based on somehow, tensions between the two men that Édouard Philippe has consistently denied in press conferences with the media? Or was it simply that President Macron wants to have a fresh start in September at this, what is called in France, la rentrée, when people come back from their summer holidays, when school starts again? Does he want to give the French state a sort of new image at that point? Or perhaps a combination of factors, is most probably the case. But just one important thing I forgot to say earlier, actually, we shouldn't assume that Édouard Philippe is out for good, because this is obviously a technical process as well. He resigns. He could be renamed Prime Minister in the reshuffle. That's not impossible, but we'll have to see, obviously, in the next few days.
And Armen, we have in fact just heard from the Élysée Palace that a new Prime Minister will be nominated in the coming hours. As you said, that could be someone entirely new, and it could also be Philippe once again. Armen Georgian from our International Affairs Desk. Thank you very much. A French appeals